What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of 101 Sports and Cards. As I'm Nathan Holloway, and with me, Jared Josh.
What's up?
Starting the NFL, Vegas news of the week were the two trades that happened on Tuesday. The Jets acquired Devontae Adams from the Raiders for a third-round pick that could end up being a second-round pick if Adams is either named to the first or second team All-Pro or is on the active roster for the AFC Championship game of the Super Bowl. So this will be a third-round pick because he's missed like 3 games, so he's not going to be on the All-Pro teams, and the Jets aren't even making the playoffs, let alone to the AFC Championship game. Do you like the move?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to help the team.
I think it's a terrible move. You need as many draft picks as possible because, you're already screwed. But after Aaron retires, you're really screwed because then you really don't have a quarterback. You don't have a head coach. Your new head coach is worthless. Your kicker sucks, which he proved on Monday night, which is why they lost the game, because Greg Zuerlein is no longer Greg the Leg. And this doesn't change anything. Devontae Adams I think it's amazing that he's supposed to play this week, although he's been injured for the last 3 weeks, and magically he's just healed. So it's not going to affect anything. They had enough weapons, and Rodgers can't, when you can't throw the ball, because Rodgers sucks, then this doesn't change it. The better trade was the Bills acquiring Amari Cooper and a 2025 6th-round pick from the Browns for a 2025 3rd and 2026 7th. I like this trade. This gives the Bills are the best team in that division. They're going to easily win the division because the rest of the teams are trash. I mean, the Patriots suck. The Jets have an old guy as their QB who no longer knows how to play the game of football, and the Dolphins have a quarterback with brain damage. So it's not that hard to win the division, but they get a actually good wide receiver. Amari Cooper is better than all the other wide receivers on that team combined, which doesn't take much. I might be able to make their team as a wide receiver, and you've seen me catch a football. This is a great move, and they had to give up literally nothing to get. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Some bad news, Aiden Hutchinson is out for the season after fracturing both his tibia and fibula in a game against the Cowboys, a game that the Lions absolutely murdered the Cowboys. He did it on a sack. He was sacking Dak. If you haven't watched the video, which Fox refused to show the replay, which I hate, because just don't be a bitch. Just show the replay. I had to look it up on Twitter. I also love watching injuries. I don't know if that's just if a lot of people like that or it's just me and I'm like screwed up in the head. But I love watching injuries, and it was a pretty gruesome injury. But Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions, said that he would not rule out him returning by the end of the season. Dan, the dude broke 2 bones in his leg. He ain't coming back. If he does, then it's a miracle. Dude's going to be on that Aaron Rodgers training. So week 6 recap, started off Thursday night. 49ers took down the Seahawks 36-24. Brock Purdy had his best game of the season. 255 yards, 3 touchdowns. Debo and Kittle also had good games. They both scored a touchdown. Kittle scored 2 touchdowns. Debo, 1, had over 100 yards. Geno is, he's struggling. 312 yards, touchdown, 2 picks. Packers outmade the Cardinals 34-13. Jordan Love, 258 yards, and tied his personal best of 4 touchdowns in a game. He also threw an interception, which was not his fault. Romeo Doubs came back. He had 2 touchdowns, and Kyler Murray 314 yards and a touchdown. The Cardinals, I still don't know how they beat the 49ers a couple weeks ago, and then they just played like this because it was bad. I get. The Packers have a great defense, but the Cardinals looked like they didn't know how to play the game of football. The Chargers took down the Broncos 23-16. Herbert, 237 yards and a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins had 96 yards and a touchdown. And Bo Nix had 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, and 61 rushing yards. The Bears dominated the Jags in London 35-16. Caleb Williams, 226 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. Cole Kmet and Keenan Allen both had 2 touchdowns each. T-Law sucks. We're just going to leave it at that. The Texans beat the Patriots 41-21. This is a close game until the 4th quarter. Stroud had 192 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Mixon, in his first game back from his ankle injury, had 102 yards and a touchdown. Drake May, his first career start, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He did look much better than Jacoby Brissett. So he should be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season, but knowing the Patriots, they'll do something stupid. The Ravens outlasted the Commanders. I don't know why I said they outlasted themselves. Probably because I made this at like 2 a.m. last night. The Ravens outlasted the Commanders 30-23. Lamar, 323 yards, touchdown, and a pick. Derrick Henry continues his hot start to the season, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels had 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, both of which he threw to Terry McLaurin. The Eagles beat the Browns 20-16. It was a god-awful game. Jalen Hurts, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown returned, had 116 yards and a touchdown. And Deshaun Watson still blows. Also, the Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni was yelling at his own fans after the game. They might as well just fire him. He's a crappy coach, and Jalen Hurts a crappy QB. The Bucs demolished the Saints 51-27. It's the most points the Buccaneers have scored since like 2007. Baker had 325 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 picks, so it could have been a bigger score. Baker would have took his head out of his butt and actually knew how to throw to his own team, including Mike Evans, who gave me 4 points in fantasy. Their 2 running backs, not named Rachaad White because he was out. Sean Tucker, I don't even know who this guy is, came in and ran for 136 yards and a touchdown. And Bucky Irving, who is their rookie, has been pretty good. He's going to eventually replace Rachaad White as a starting running back, had 81 yards and a touchdown. Chris Godwin had 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. Spencer Rattler, in his first career NFL start, had 243 yards, touchdown, and 2 picks. It started off very well, did not end well. He is supposed to start until Derek Carr returns. The Colts outlasted the Titans 20-17. Joe Flacco, 189 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Will Levis is terrible. 95 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Tony Pollard had 93 yards and a touchdown. The fact that Tony Pollard, your running back, again, behind that crappy O-line, had almost as many yards as the quarterback threw for is embarrassing. You know what else is embarrassing? The Colts head coach said that Anthony Richardson is the starter whenever he comes back healthy. This team works better under Joe Flacco, which is honestly sad. But Steelers blew out the Raiders 32-13. Justin Fields, 145 yards, 59 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. He is getting benched this weekend. Russell Wilson is starting. Najee Harris, 106 yards and a touchdown. Aiden O'Connell, his first start of the season, 227 yards, touchdown, a pick. The Lions demolished the Cowboys 47-9. Jared Goff, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. David Montgomery, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dak had 178 yards, 2 interceptions. Cowboys were never in this game. The Cowboys are bad. I'm pretty sure everybody knew that they were going to be bad besides their owner, Jerry Jones, and he's too busy going on the radio show yesterday and threatening to fire the guys asking him questions because they were talking about how bad the team is, and it's not a good look for Jerry, and this team hasn't been a good look for a long time. I mean, it's cool you win 12 to 14 games in the regular season, but you can't capitalize on the playoffs, and this year you're not even going to make the playoffs because this team is bad. Also, whoever made the song on TikTok that's going around, I credit you because it's a great song about the Cowboys. It's great. Falcons beat the Panthers 38-20. Kirk Cousins, 225 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Algier had his best game of the season, 105 yards and a touchdown. Bijan, 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Andy Dalton had 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. If you're the Panthers, you have 1 win. Would you just throw Bryce Young back out there at this point? I would too. I mean, Andy Dalton, that first game, he looked great.
No,
Ever since then, he's been bad. So at least throw out. You use first overall pick on Bryce for a reason. Just throw him out there, see what happens, or don't, because I have Chuba Hubbard in fantasy and he works better with Andy Dalton. Bengals beat the Giants 17-7 on Sunday night. Joe Burrow, 208 yards. He had a 47-yard rushing touchdown, the longest rush of his career. Also, the only big play in this game. Daniel Jones, 205 yards and an interception. I watched the first quarter, and then after that, I almost fell asleep watching it, so I turned it off. The Bills outlasted the Jets 23-20 on Monday night. Josh Allen, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had a rushing touchdown. Ray Davis got the start with James Cook out. He had 97 rushing yards. Rodgers had 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Brees Hall, 113 yards, which is good for his fantasy owners, including myself, and also for the team because they're actually running the football. Allen Lazard, 114 yards and a touchdown, and Garrett Wilson, 107 yards and a touchdown. Now, if you look at the stats, you would have guessed that, you have 2 receivers over 100 yards. You have Brees Hall over 100 yards, and Rodgers throws for almost 300 yards. You'd think the Jets would have won this game. But instead, their kicker sucks, and so does Aaron Rodgers. So Week 7 preview. It begins on Thursday with a absolutely great matchup. It's the Sean Payton Bowl. He's going to play his old team in New Orleans. It's a battle of 2 just mediocre teams, Broncos and Saints.
Broncos.
I'm also going with the Broncos. If Derek Carr was starting for the Saints, I would say them, but I don't trust Spencer Rattler yet. He did look okay. He looked better than I thought he would. The Jaguars are in London for the second straight week. This week they're taking on the Patriots. I'm also going with the Patriots. One of the better games of the week, the Texans and the Packers.
Texans.
I'm going with the Packers. The Texans have been great on the road, but the Packers have one of the best defenses in the league. Titans and Bills. Bills. Eagles and Giants.
Eagles.
I'm going with the Giants. The Giants, they made the Bengals defense, which is statistically like the second worst defense in the league. They made them look amazing last week. I think they bounce back in division rivalry. I think they get it done against the Eagles. Seahawks and Falcons. I'm going with the Falcons. I don't like what the Seahawks are doing right now. They started off very good, and then after that Lions game, they just basically, Geno Smith forgot how to play. Bengals and Browns.
Bengals.
I'm also going with the Bengals. I will not pick the Browns the rest of the season until they bench Deshaun Watson. Dolphins and Colts. I'm also going with the Colts. Panthers and Commanders. Also going with the Commanders. Raiders and Rams. Rams. Chiefs 49ers, a rematch of the Super Bowl.
Chiefs.
I'm also going with the Chiefs. The 49ers have not impressed me at all. Neither have the Chiefs. But I think the Chiefs are the better team right now. The Sunday night game is terrible. It's Jets and Steelers. I'm going to go with the Jets just because Devontae Adams' first game. I would pick the Steelers if they kept Justin Fields as their QB. They're switching to Russell Wilson. It's going to take time for Russell Wilson to actually get into a groove with this offense because, he hasn't practiced since training camp, like the first week of training camp because he injured himself. He's getting first team reps this week, but 1 week of preparation is not enough. So I'm going to pick the Jets. There's 2 games Monday night. The Chargers and Cardinals are exclusively on ESPN+.
Cardinals.
I'm going to go with the Chargers. The other game is Ravens and Bucks. I'm going with the Buccaneers at home. They might have to put up 51 again in order to outscore the Ravens offense. Moving on to the association, that's where most of our time is going to be spent today because we are less than a week away from the start of the NBA year, and Paul George is already injured.
Yeah.
Paul George suffered a bone bruise in his left knee. Is to be reevaluated next week. More than likely, he's going to miss their opener next Wednesday. I do not believe they play on Tuesday. Also, some other big news for the NBA. Adam Silver came out. He said that he expects NBA expansion to begin in 2026-27 season. So congratulations to Las Vegas because they're going to have a team. And hopefully the Seattle Supersonics return to the NBA because Seattle definitely deserves a team.
St. Louis also needs one.
Well, they're only going to do 2.
It's bullcrap.
So we're going to move on to our NBA predictions. So we're going to start off with our, we're not going to go through all, we're going to do award winners, who's going to be the best in each, the West and the East. We're going to give our top seed because I'm not going through all 10 seeds of who I think. We're also going to do our surprise team, the best team in the league, and then our playoff predictions. So first off, who do you have winning the Western Conference?
I have the Thunder.
I also have the Thunder. They got better. than what they were last year, and you can no longer sleep on the Thunder. The East.
Celtics.
I also have the Celtics. There's no team that's even close to Boston, let alone in the league. Like, the Thunder are the only team that I think can actually compete with Boston. There's nobody in the East that even comes close. Who's going to be the best team in the league this year?
Celtics.
Of course you would say that. I have the Thunder. I think the Thunder are going to be the best team in the league as long as everybody can stay healthy. Of course, it would be the same for you. I think the Celtics are going to start off a little slow until Kristaps comes back because they don't have a reliable starting center without Kristaps, and he's supposed to miss the first part of the season. Who is your surprise team?
The Rockets.
Why?
Oh, because they're young and they're good.
I was going to pick the Rockets. I was also going to pick my Spurs, but I chose neither one of them because I don't have them making the playoffs. I don't want to play in because, my God, the West is so much better. Can we even this? Can we just go to, since the East is so trash, besides the Celtics, can we just make it the top 16 seeds, like, in the NBA? Because I'll tell you right now, out of the Eastern Conference, there may be like 4 teams that actually make the playoffs. My surprise team is the Wizards. I have them making a play-in spot in the East. Now, a lot of you are going to say that that's stupid. That's a terrible take. They have arguably the worst roster in the league behind the Nets. Because the Nets are going to be the worst team. There's no way they're not going to be. They may not win a game. I believe in the Wizards. I believe in their young players. I believe Jordan Poole goes and after a terrible season last year, I believe he will turn back into Warriors. Jordan Poole. Kuzma, still a great player who gets absolutely no recognition as long as they keep him. Of course, I'm a huge Bilal fan. I think he takes a step forward. I think Corey Kispert takes a step forward in a contract year. They add Brogdon, who's hurt right now, but he's a solid point guard. Probably going to be their starting point guard, unless they start Bug Carrington, who they drafted. They also drafted Alexander Sarr, who struggled mightily in the Summer League. But I still think he's going to be great. He also has a great mentor in Jonas Valanciunas, who they drafted, or who they signed. He's going to be able to help develop Sarr. Also, he's going to bring in some pieces at the deadline because Valanciunas is probably going to be moved at the deadline. But I think the Wizards are a sneaky team. They have enough young talent, and the East is not that good. Now, the second team is the Hornets, that I would say, but I believe a lot of people are saying that it's the Hornets just because the Hornets have enough talent to make a playoff push, let alone just being in the play.
Mm-hmm.
As long as LaMelo stays healthy, which that doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go into award predictions. Who is your MVP pick?
Luka.
Finally gets one. It's not going to start off well for Luka because he practiced for the first time today after suffering an injury in training camp. But he should be able to play in their first game next week. My MVP is the guy that probably should have won it last year over Jokic, although Jokic had a great season. I'm picking Shea. I think Shea is going to be even better, especially with the team around him. The Thunder are going to be one of the best teams in the league. Shea's already one of the best players in the league, and I guarantee you the Clippers are regretting letting him go for people that did not help them do anything. It's good. It's good that the Clippers have a nice brand new stadium because without that, they'd have 0 fans showing up because they're going to be god-awful. Rookie of the Year.
Montes Buzelis.
I think everybody here knew you were going to pick him. He looked good in their last preseason game. Bulls played the Bucks on Monday in preseason. He dunked on Giannis. Looked pretty good. Also talking about the Bulls, Lonzo Ball returns tonight, so you will know how he did. But Lonzo making a return to the court for the first time in 2 years, so it's good to see. I love Lonzo. I've loved Lonzo since he was at UCLA. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about Lonzo, but he's been one of my favorite players since college, so it's good to see him actually back on the court. My Rookie of the Year is Stephon Castle. It was a toss-up between him and Reed Shepherd. There's just the Rockets are going to find a way to screw up Reed Shepherd like they've done many of their good young players. Hopefully they don't do what they did with Amon Thompson last year and just not play him, because Reed Shepherd is their best shooter on the team, and he's a rookie. But I'm going to go with Stephon Castle, just because I think he's going to step in. He's going to start, for one, at the beginning of the season, or he should. Pop hasn't officially announced starting lineup, but he should start at shooting guard to begin the season, since Devin Vassell is out for the first month due to a foot injury. And then he's eventually going to replace Chris Paul as the starting point guard of this team. He's also the best defender in the draft class. Defensive player of the year.
Victor.
I also have Victor. It's really nobody else. Besides, I mean, Victor's just he's a specimen of his own. And if anybody comes out and says Rudy Gobert, you don't know the game of basketball. Rudy Gobert's not a good defender. He's not good at anything. He just sucks. Sorry, I always have to throw shade at Rudy just because I hate him. Sixth man of the year.
Malik Monk.
I also picked Malik Monk. I don't know if Malik Monk's actually going to start or come off the bench, but sixth man of the year is so tough because
you don't know who's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at like other people's predictions. People are saying Buddy Hield. There's no way Buddy Hield doesn't start for the Warriors. He is their second best scorer besides Curry, of course. But I don't know. I think Malik Monk will come off the bench. I don't know who their starting shooting guard is going to be. It's either going to be him or Herder. And I think they'll stick with Kevin Herder as the starter because Malik Monk is better by himself off the bench. So, Coach of the year.
Tom Thibodeau.
He coaches the Knicks, if you didn't know that. I don't think the Knicks are going to be that good. I picked Willie Green with the Pelicans. I have the Pelicans being the third seed in the West. I think the Pelicans are going to have a great season. The only bad thing is they're starting Herbert Jones as their center, which is a very undersized center, but they'll probably go out and make a trade at the deadline to bring in a new guy. But I really love what the Pelicans are brewing. Brewing up down there as long as Zion can stay healthy, but adding DeJounte, Brandon Ingram's still there. He may not be there all year because, he was in trade talks or trade rumors all summer. But, unlike I'm not a big fan of Brandon Ingram, which you know this, but you love Brandon. I got to give him credit. Most people, when they're in trade rumors, would not show up to training camp or anything like that, or wouldn't show up to be how they normally are. He stepped on the floor last night and was great for them in a preseason game. Most people wouldn't be that way because they would be pissed off that they're in trade rumors. So I got to give props to Brandon.
I love Brandon.
That's probably the first time I've ever actually credited him with anything. So,
how dare you talk about my boy Brandon like that?
Shut up. He's not even good.
He is good.
He's not good. If he was good, then somebody else would have traded for him. But nobody wants him because he's overpaid and he sucks. Moving on to our playoff predictions. So we'll do West, then East. I will do West first. So my 1 seed is the Thunder. My 8 seed is the Lakers. I have the Thunder. Moving on. I'll just go ahead and do
your whole thing, because then we'll get confused.
Okay. This will also go up on the. I have a post ready for the Instagram. So if you don't follow the Instagram, I've been posting on it. Kind of forgot it even existed, and never had time. But I found out how easy it is to just like copy and paste crap, using Canva, so that you can just like make posts yourself, and it's very easy. So we have been actually using the Instagram. So follow it. It's just search 101 Sports and Cards, same thing on there. Give it a follow. Try to post something. Try to post at least 4 times a week, and then most of the time every day with a little story thing, just to get your thoughts on stuff. So yeah. So Western Conference. I have Thunder Lakers. I have the Thunder moving on. 4 versus 5 is Nuggets and T-Wolves. I have the T-Wolves moving on. 3 and 6 is Pelicans and the Kings. I have the Pelicans moving on. And 2 and 7, the Mavericks and the Grizzlies. I have the Mavs moving on. Moving on between the Thunder and Timberwolves, I have the Thunder. Moving on between the Pelicans and the Mavs, it's going to make a lot of people mad, but I have the Pelicans. And I have the Thunder representing the West in the finals. In the East, I have 1 versus 8 Celtics Heat. We've seen this before. I have the Celtics moving on. 4 versus 5 is Bucks and Cavs. I have the Bucks moving on. 3 and 6 is the Knicks and the Magic. I have the Magic moving on. And then 76ers Pacers is 2 and 7. I have the 76ers moving on. And then moving on is the Celtics and the Magic. And I have the Celtics making it to the finals. Thunder, Celtics, finals. I have the Thunder winning with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning finals MVP. So unlike you, since I've seen your bracket, I actually have upsets with the Magic and the Pelicans making it. I think the Magic are going to be very good, adding Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and then the Pelicans, I've already discussed this, but adding DeJounte is huge. Go ahead and give us yours.
So 1 and 8 for the West is Thunder and Pelicans. I have the Thunder. 4 and 5 is Mavericks and Grizzlies. I have the Mavericks. And 3-6 T-Wolves and Suns. I have the T-Wolves. And then 2-7, I have the Nuggets and Kings, and I have the Nuggets. And then the Thunder Mavericks, I have the Thunder. And then Timberwolves Nuggets, I have the Timberwolves. And then the winner of that will be the Thunder in the championship. In the East, I have 1-8, the Celtics and the Heat, with the Celtics winning.
No.
And then 4-5, I have the Bucks and the Magic. I have the Magic. And then 3-6, I have Knicks and Pacers, and then I have the Knicks winning that game. And then 2-7, 76ers versus the Cavaliers. I have the 76ers. Celtics, Magic, I have Celtics. Knicks, 76ers, I have the Knicks. And then the Celtics and Knicks, I have the Celtics going to the championship, and the Celtics winning it back-to-back. And then Kristaps Porzingis winning MVP.
It'll be the first time since the Warriors won back-to-back. Somebody's actually won back-to-back.
They're the best team in basketball, on paper.
Mine also may be different from what I did because I think I updated mine on the post. Either way, I still have the same final. I still have the same Final Four. I'm pretty sure. So I think I updated it and didn't update it on the piece of paper that I have in front of me. So mine could be different, but either way, I have the Celtics and Thunder.
Yeah.
Surprised it's going to be the Pelicans, though. Watch out for the Pelicans. As long as Zion can stay healthy, which is hard. But he's lost weight. Seems like we say this every year. He's lost weight. But, yeah. I also didn't. We did not include most improved player. My most improved player would be Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons is actually going to come back and be solid. You don't have to have a most improved player. It's very hard to do most improved. Because the betting favorite right now for most improved player is Victor Wembanyama. It's kind of hard for him to improve from last year.
Yeah, I'd probably put Sengun. I think Sengun is going to be the reason why the Rockets are my surprise team is Sengun. So
as long as they keep him, because he has been in trade rumors. He's also in a contract year. It's amazing that he has not got an extension yet, especially since they don't have a center behind him. Besides Steven Adams, who's coming off an injury. And most people don't even remember that Steven Adams is a Rocket.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Steven Adams still good.
Sengun's better. People do everything.
So those are our NBA predictions. Will any of them turn out right? Probably not.
Who knows? Freaking Wizards can win the whole thing.
Wizards Spurs finals. Bilal versus Wemby.
That probably would never happen.
Yeah, because Bilal is not going to sign an extension with the Wizards. He's going to sign with the Spurs. Yeah. Best day ever. So far in my lifetime. Although there's already been quite a few. So I've seen every team of mine actually win a championship. Unlike a lot of people out there. Talking about a team that has not won a championship in your lifetime. We're going to move on to the MLB. Except we're not going to talk about the Reds because, frankly, who cares?
Hey.
Who cares right now? The Phillies extended Rob Thompson through 2026. Do you think this is a good move?
Yeah, he's a good man.
He's been their best manager in a long time. The Rays are set to play somewhere else next year since Tropicana Field got damaged by Hurricane Milton. It was Milton, right? Not Helene.
It was one of the two.
I think it was Milton. If you saw the pictures, there's
It's
they already
destroyed.
said that they can't fix it up for next season. They might as well just tear it down and build a new stadium, which they need to do anyway, for the whole 5 Rays fans to come and play. I don't know.
People are selling the roof though on eBay.
Of course they are. I don't know where the Rays are going to play. I don't know where else around Tampa they could play.
They'll probably go up to Jupiter.
There's a lot of people that want them to move to Oakland for one season. I don't see that happening. Jupiter would probably be.
It's probably where they end up going. Jupiter.
So the Dodgers and the Mets, they both moved on. They're tied 1-1. It's been a great series so far. They play tonight for Game 3, so you will know who takes the lead in this series. I'm impressed with the Mets after that first game. I really thought it was going to be a sweep because the Mets did not play well at all. But Mets have been good. They're good in Game 2. You know,
Francisco Lindor's a GOAT.
You know who hasn't been good? Shohei Ohtani. Yet the MLB doesn't want you to know that. Because when you go to look up his postseason stats on MLB.com, it will not show you his postseason stats. Unless you dig deeper. So
He's got like, what, 1 home run?
He's been bad. He was batting like 120. Dave Roberts said he's not going to move him down in the order, though. So he'll still be the leadoff guy. But
That's the thing about the postseason. None of the big guys really do good. It's always the other people, the other guys, the secondary guys. Like Kike Hernandez is the best postseason player ever. The dude, he lives for the moment.
You can't say that, like, Soto's been good. Giancarlo's been good.
Yeah.
Lindor's the Mets' best player.
Yeah, but Lindor's had postseason. He was great with the Indians. He and Jose Ramirez are the only reasons why they made it to the 2016 playoffs. And he went to the World Series and almost won.
But you also think, like you said, Kike Hernandez, Mark Vientos,
Yeah.
who's very underrated. Shut up. You can't say anybody about the Guardians, because Guardians look like they shouldn't even advance right now. The Yankees lead the Guardians 2-0. It's a must-win Game 3 for the Guardians tomorrow night. If they lose, they're probably going to get swept. I don't want this to be a Yankees-Dodgers World Series, but it looks like it's going to be.
It will be, because you know how much money that MLB will make from that series?
It would be cool to see a Mets-Yankees, though, with the Subway Series.
It would.
World Series.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. Because I don't think the Guardians are going to beat the Yankees. And I just had the Guardians win the whole thing, but they're just not.
They're inconsistent on offense. They're also inconsistent with pitching. Because Bibee got absolutely lit up last night. So for the Yankees and Guardians, do you think the Guardians have any chance in the series?
If they get the win tomorrow, yes. But if not, no.
I don't think they have a chance, to be honest. This Yankees lineup, Aaron Judge looked better this round than the previous round, which doesn't take much. But if the Yankees offense and their pitch, their relievers have been amazing. Weaver, has been great. So that is it for baseball. We're going to move on to college football. Utah's Cam Rising is out for the rest of the season due to an injury. He will get an 8th year of eligibility. He said that he's contemplating doing it. Don't. It's time for you to get a damn job, Cam. You suck ass at playing quarterback. You've never been good. All you do is get hurt. Utah's better without you. You don't need to play. This is why I cannot wait for all these people to get out of college that were in when it was COVID, so that we can go back to you have 4 years. And that's, well, technically 5 because you can redshirt. 8 years. 8 years is unbelievable. I mean, there's a guy, I think he plays for Miami, their tight end, that's been there for like 9 years. It's time for you to get a real job. Because if you've been in college for more than 5 years and you're playing a sport, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not going to make it to the pros. So, another guy he will not get another year of eligibility, which I don't know why that Cam does, but he doesn't. But a college career came to an end as Florida's Graham Mertz suffered a torn ACL. This may sound mean, but this is the best thing that could happen to Florida. DJ Lagway, who was a freshman, he is better. He was a 5-star recruit. He was probably besides Dylan Raiola, he was the top recruit in the nation for QB. And Graham Mertz sucks. Graham, congratulations on a very crappy college career. I will never forgive you for being a top recruit for Wisconsin and then leaving us because you sucked. And then you sucked everywhere you went. So, congrats on a crappy career. Enjoy working at McDonald's for the rest of your life, buddy. Just can't stand the guy. So, Week 7 recap. Number 16, Utah got upset by Arizona State, 27-19. Number 7, Alabama escaped South Carolina, 27-25. It was a great game. That was one of the only games I was able to watch. Number 1, Texas dominated 18 Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry, 34-3. I watched the first half of this game, and then I left, came over here for your party. Didn't miss much with this game. Texas looks like they're the best team in the nation. Of course, this weekend, we will see if they are. Number 4, Penn State held off USC, 33-30 in overtime. Number 22, Pitt outlasted Cal, 17-15. Number 23, Illinois took down Purdue in an overtime shootout, 50-49. They stopped them on a 2-point attempt to win the game. Number 8, Tennessee escaped Florida in overtime, 23-17. Number 18, Kansas State escaped Colorado, 31-28. Number 13, LSU took down number 9, Ole Miss in overtime, 29-26. I did catch the overtime of that game, although I don't remember much of it. Just say that. And number 3, Oregon narrowly defeated number 2, Ohio State, 32-31. And Dan Lanning is a genius. This came up today. College football changed the rule for this. So at the end of the game, there was about 12 seconds left. Ohio State had the ball. They could win it with a field goal. Oregon decided to put 12 players on the field, which is a penalty. But it allowed like 6 seconds to come off the clock, which gave them 4 seconds left. Smart move, because you can't just stop the clock with the penalty. Like the penalty adds in for the clock time that came off of it, which made Ohio State, they had one more play, and for some reason Will Howard decided to run it and slide, and time was expired because apparently he's just dumb and didn't know how to read a clock. But NCAA came out today. Dan Lanning actually admitted to this, that he did do it for this reason. If I was him, I wouldn't have done that because it's the last time you'll ever see it. If you have now 12 players on the field at the end of the game, the opposing team has a decision to either accept that the time came off during the penalty, or to reset the clock to before the penalty. So this ends the loophole that Dan Lanning found. But it was a pretty good loophole.
Smart. And
led to Oregon winning the game. This is not the first time that Lanning has done this. He's gone through a lot of loopholes that the NCAA has thrown out. He's proven that he knows the rule book, which is good for a coach. He's one of the best coaches and gets absolutely no credit. So Week 8 is this weekend. It's another huge weekend in college football. We're going to go in order. I put them in order of basically how good of a game they are. So the first one, Oklahoma State and number 13, BYU. Oklahoma State has not had the best start to the season. They were ranked before. BYU has been the surprise of the year.
BYU.
I'm also going with BYU. A big ACC matchup, number 6, Miami versus Louisville.
Miami.
I'm also going with Miami. You can go against Miami, but you'll lose because the refs just love it when Miami wins. Nebraska versus undefeated number 16, Indiana.
Nebraska.
I believe this is going to be an upset with Nebraska winning. Do not look at this because it's going to be one of the last games, unlike you did last week. Number 12, Notre Dame versus Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
I believe Georgia Tech always plays Notre Dame really well, and it'll happen again this year. A big game in the Big Ten. basically, if either one of these teams loses, they're going to be done and their playoff hopes are over, even if with a win. Basically, it's over too, but you have to win this game. Number 24, Michigan. Number 22, Illinois.
Michigan.
I'm going with Illinois. Michigan cannot throw the ball. Number 8, LSU versus Arkansas.
LSU.
I also have LSU. Number 7, Alabama versus number 11, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I'm also going with Tennessee. If Alabama loses this game, they will not make the college football playoff. And they shouldn't. If they do, then it is rigged. Because, I mean, they have the one good win against Georgia. They'd have a absolutely horrific loss against Vanderbilt. Although Vanderbilt is, right now, they are 26th in the polls. They were just on the outside of making the top 25. Shout out to both Army and Navy. Both are undefeated. And in the polls together, the college football rankings together for the first time since like the 1960s. So, congrats to both of them. Final game, best game of the weekend. Number 5, Georgia versus number 1, Texas.
Texas.
I'm also going with Texas. I think Texas is the best team in college football. It doesn't even they will be the best team even if they don't have if Ewers gets hurt. When Ewers gets hurt, they still have Arch Manning.
He's arguably a starter everywhere else.
He is a starter everywhere else. That is week 8, so I'll definitely be watching this weekend since I was unable to last week. And on other sports, Kyle Larson dominated at the Charlotte Roval. It was a terrible race, to be honest.
There's just a ton of wrecking people.
The new layout that they had, I don't know if they had a baby design it, but the old layout was so much better. That one corner, I think it was turn 7.
Yeah, that's why everyone took each other out.
It's terrible. What do you think was going to happen whenever you designed that? It was made where you have to go a wide entrance, and people were trying to cut it. Of course people are going to take each other out. That was just stupid. Other than that, it was a terrible race.
And that's ultimately what almost ended Tyler Reddick's run. He drove his butt off, though.
Yeah, he also got help.
No.
Yeah, because both Truex and Hamlin both pulled over for him. So, Cindric, Suarez, Briscoe, and Bowman were all eliminated from the playoffs. Bowman did advance, but he was disqualified after the race due to his car being underweight. So that eliminates him and allows Joey Logano to advance. So the final 8 is Larson, Bell, Reddick, Byron, Blaney, Hamlin, Elliott, and Logano.
Let me see my final 8. Let's see how many I got right. Real quick. Say the 8. I got Lawson, Bell, Reddick, Byron, Hamlin, Logano.
You got everybody but Gibbs and Keselowski.
Yeah.
I don't even remember my final 8. I didn't keep that, and frankly, I don't care, because this has been a joke of a season. It's a joke of a playoff format, and we're going to a joke of a racetrack. Las Vegas is this weekend.
Snooze Fest.
Yeah.
Who wins?
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle Busch. He gets his first win of the year.
At home.
Yeah, he keeps his streak alive.
I'm gonna go. He locks himself into the championship 4. He shouldn't even be here. Joey Logano is unbelievable at Las Vegas. He wins.
So is Kyle locked in or no? Because
nobody's locked in.
So this is a completely new, fresh thing.
It is Las Vegas, Homestead, which should still be the final.
Yeah, that's
a great track. And then Martinsville.
Yeah. Oh, Martinsville's rough for your last one. You better hope you easily get locked in or have a lot of points built up going into Martinsville.
That's how it's been.
Yeah.
Since it started.
Which is kind of... I hate it. I think it should be consistency throughout the whole year. Not just the end of the year. Because then it actually makes the best driver, because it makes you have
If they're going to do this, I wish they go back to the chase, where it's the 10 races, make them all start out. If you want to keep the bonus points for the stage wins and crap like that, you do that, but you just do the 10 races.
You don't eliminate anybody. You don't eliminate anybody. You just...
And they need to go back to 10 drivers.
Yeah.
16 drivers is stupid, and no winning you're in.
Yeah. Because if someone can get lucky...
But, NASCAR has bigger fish to fry because they have a lawsuit right now with multiple teams against them. And apparently there's also been a leak of a team that's out of the playoffs leaking information to another team's engineers. So Yeah, but NASCAR said they can't do anything until a lawsuit is filed, which that isn't going to happen. Because they're already in a lawsuit right now.
Yeah.
So, F1 is back this weekend. They're at the Circuit of the Americas for the U.S. Grand Prix.
Piastri.
Lando. I feel like a lot of things is going to change since they've had a whole month off.
I feel like Max might win it. He might be back. Well, who knows? Freaking Mercedes. Or Ferrari. Maybe Leclerc won't crash his car this time.
Also, F1 news, your boy, Mick Schumacher, is expected to be in a ride next year.
Yeah!
I forgot who it was with.
My boy Mick. Probably Alfa Romeo or something like that.
No. It's one of the crap teams.
Haas?
He was with Haas. And they got rid of him.
Is it the one that has kick?
No.
No.
It might be Alpine.
Is he taking Gasly's ride?
I don't know.
Probably should.
No, it is at Alpine because that was Daniel Ricciardo's ride. And they got rid of him.
Yeah.
And they're having a rookie in the rest
From
of the
F2.
season. Yeah.
He's actually not bad.
Yeah. Either way, he'll never have a good finish because Nick sucks. And he's a disgrace to Schumacher.
His dad's the GOAT, so.
His dad's not the GOAT. He's second best.
No, his dad's the GOAT.
Tonight is Game 3 of the WNBA Finals. It's actually going on right as we speak. Let me check the score right quick. Oh, look, the Dodgers are already winning. It is 50-39 with the Lynx winning. So, yeah, you'll know how this game finishes tomorrow.
Is it best of 5?
Is it best of... I thought they changed it to best of 7. I could be completely wrong.
I don't really pay attention to it.
No, it's best of 5. So it's Game 3's tonight. Friday is Game 4. Then Sunday would be Game 5 if necessary. It's a bad time to have a Game 5 with football.
I feel like nobody's watching a postseason baseball on.
Nobody's watching it anyway because Caitlin Clark isn't in them.
Yeah.
So, frankly, I don't care who wins. Both teams are really good. So, yeah. That's all I have. You have anything else? Baseball. Thank you guys for listening. Come back here next week. I will have our NBA predictions up on the Instagram probably before this episode actually comes out on streaming platforms. But in the caption, put us who you think is going to win championship and your predictions for the NBA season, and see how, and tell me if my Wizards pick is stupid.
Yes.
Because I've had a lot of people tell me that it is.
Yeah, you idiots.
And thank you guys for listening. Enjoy a great weekend of college football, the NFL, MLB playoffs, the WNBA finals, and of course, enjoy opening night of the NBA, which is next Tuesday. We will recap opening night next Wednesday. And did I say Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Okay. I was going to say it's next Tuesday is opening night. I'm pumped. Go Spurs go, baby. Go Spurs go. We're going to have a good year.
You may be 10, 15 games under 500.
Honestly, I don't even care. Tank for Cooper Flag. Tank for him. We could have 3 lottery picks. If we get 3 lottery picks, Cooper Flag, Nolan Trayor, and Edgecombe from Baylor, who's also very good. That would be my top 3 guys, but that's not gonna happen. Thank you guys for listening. Come back here next week. Peace.